The buyer showed up 30 minutes early, even though I hadn't sent him my address yet. I was selling my old camera setup, a Sony body, 2 lenses, a tripod I never used anymore. Posted it Tuesday night for $600. By Wednesday morning, I had a message from someone named Trevor_M. No profile picture. Account created 2 months ago. He didn't ask about the shutter count or the lens condition. He just asked, "Still available?" And then 3 minutes later, "You're on Delmar Street, right?" I hadn't told him that. I hadn't told anyone that. My listing showed a general pickup zone, nothing more specific than the zip code. I figured he'd found me some other way. Maybe I'd sold something before and forgot I'd given my street. I brushed it off and told him yes, still available, and that we could meet at the gas station 2 blocks from my place. He agreed immediately. Too immediately. That's when I noticed his profile had joined 4 marketplace-only groups in my city, all in the last 10 days. No friends, no posts, no photos except a stock image of a mountain. I clicked through his activity anyway, the way you do when a small detail won't leave you alone. He'd commented on 2 other listings that morning, both from women, both selling something valuable enough to be worth stealing, both in neighborhoods close to mine. One comment just said, "Still there tonight?" No question mark on the item, no mention of the item at all. I told myself I was being paranoid and went about my day. Around 3, he sent a follow-up, "What time do you usually get home from work?" I hadn't told him I worked. I hadn't told him anything about my schedule. I didn't answer, and for 20 minutes there was nothing, which was somehow worse than a reply. Then, around 6, he messaged again. "Running early, I'll just come to the house, instead of the gas station. Easier for both of us." I said no, the gas station was fine. He sent back a photo, a screenshot of my own porch light, taken from the street, time-stamped 4 minutes earlier. My hands went cold. I hadn't posted a single photo of my house, not on Marketplace, not anywhere public. I called my brother, who lived 15 minutes away, and told him to come now, don't ask questions. Then I turned off every light except the porch and watched the street through the blinds. At 6:40, a gray sedan idled at the curb across from my house. No headlights. No one got out. Just sat there. I called the police non-emergency line, and the woman on the phone told me to stay inside, stay quiet, and not open the door for anyone. While I waited, my phone buzzed one more time. Trevor M. again. Nice dog. I didn't have a dog. My neighbor did, and she was out front with it right then, standing under the streetlight not 20 feet from that idling sedan. I banged on the window and waved her inside without even thinking about how it looked. She came in confused, phone still in her hand, and together we watched the sedan through a crack in the blinds. My brother arrived 9 minutes later and pulled into the driveway, and the sedan pulled away before he'd even parked, no headlights on until it hit the corner. The police found the car 2 streets over, abandoned, plates reported stolen out of a county 40 miles away. Inside were printouts, screenshots of at least 6 other marketplace listings from women in my neighborhood, each one with handwritten notes in the margins, times, routines. One had a red circle around the words, "Lives alone." They never found Trevor M. The account was deleted an hour after the police left, but not before an officer had already screenshotted it for the file. He told me the notes in that gray sedan weren't random. Someone had been documenting sellers across 3 different neighborhoods for at least a month, cross-referencing listings against public records to match usernames to real addresses. I sold the camera 2 weeks later, in the parking lot of the police station, in broad daylight, to a woman named Karen, who just wanted a camera for her daughter's birthday. I made her wait while I checked her profile first. She laughed about it. I didn't. My neighbor moved a month after that. She never said exactly why, just that she didn't feel like explaining herself to anyone, and I didn't push. I still don't know how he got that photo of my porch. The listing had only been online for 4 minutes when I received the first message. It was a mid-century dining table, walnut, barely used, priced way under what it was worth. I'd been furnishing my new apartment for months, and this was exactly what I needed. The seller, a woman named Diane, responded fast and friendly, said she was downsizing after her divorce, wanted it gone by the weekend. We agreed on a time. She sent an address in a quiet part of town I didn't know well. Said her husband, ex-husband, she corrected herself, would be the one home to let me in, since she'd be at work. I asked, out of habit more than suspicion, if I could just meet her there instead of a stranger. She said she trusted him completely, that he was harmless, and something about the word choice sat wrong with me, even though I couldn't say why. I asked what he looked like, so I'd know who I was walking up to. She sent a photo that turned out to be a stock image search result. I only found that out later, after I'd reverse searched it myself, hands shaking. 3 days too late to matter. I got in my car Saturday morning and started driving. Halfway there, she messaged again. Actually, meet me at the address on Fenwick instead. Easier parking. I updated my GPS and kept going. Someone else in the comments said the house on Larkspur had been vacant for 2 years, tied up in an estate dispute. No legal owner who could have listed anything from it. A local real estate agent chimed in and confirmed it. She tried to get the family to sign off on a sale twice, and both times they'd gone quiet for months. No one connected to that house had a reason to be posting furniture online. I never went back for the table. He offered double my asking price if I wouldn't bring anyone with me. Wait, that wasn't the buyer. That was me, buying from a seller named Rick Outdoors 84, who had 412 5-star reviews and sold camping gear out of what looked like a legitimate small business. I was after a used generator, listed fair, photos looked real, and the reviews all read like actual people thanking him for smooth, easy transactions. We agreed to meet in a grocery store parking lot, broad daylight, which felt safe enough. Before I left the house, I skimmed a few of his reviews, just to feel better about it. Great guy, fast and easy, exactly as described. Would buy again. Normal stuff. The kind of reviews that make you stop thinking twice. When I got there, a man in his 50s waved me over from a white pickup. Fine, except the profile picture on Rick Outdoors 84 had been a guy who looked maybe 30. I almost said something, almost turned around without buying anything, but he was already pulling the generator out of the truck bed, already smiling, already asking how my week was going like we were old friends. It felt rude to back out over a photo. I figured maybe it was an old photo, or a partner running the account. He was polite, the generator worked when he demonstrated it right there in the lot. I paid and I left. It should have ended there. A week later I saw the same generator relisted by a different account. Different name, different profile photo, but the exact same crack in the plastic housing I remembered from mine. I stared at that photo for a long time before it clicked. I zoomed in on the crack, compared it to a photo I'd taken of my own unit for insurance purposes, and they matched down to the angle. Same seller, it turned out, using a new name. Reviews on that account, 208, also 5 stars, also glowing. I started paying closer attention, the way you do when something feels wrong, but you can't say why. I went back through my own messages with him and noticed something I'd missed the first time. He'd asked, almost in passing, whether I lived alone, framed as small talk about needing extra hands to carry the generator in. I'd answered honestly. I always answer honestly. That's the part that kept me up that night. I found a marketplace group where local buyers compared notes, and 3 other members had bought from a seller matching the same description. Always polite, always fair prices, always driving a different vehicle to each meetup, always logging in under a slightly different name. One woman said hers introduced himself as Rick, another said Marcus, a third said he never gave a name at all, just smiled and said, "Call me whatever's easiest." All 3 said he'd asked, one way or another, whether they lived alone. Someone in the group had reported it to local police, after a friend of hers went to a meetup and never came home. I didn't think much of that until an officer actually messaged the group 2 days later, asking anyone who'd interacted with the account to come in and give a statement. At the station, they showed me a folder of screenshots, 9 different marketplace identities, all traced back to devices registered to the same person. He'd used the reviews, the friendliness, the fair prices, to get close enough to isolated buyers, to learn their routines. Most transactions were exactly what they seemed. The officer told me the account I'd bought from had already been flagged twice before I ever messaged it, both times for the same complaint. Buyers who felt like the meetup had turned into an interview about their living situation. Neither report had gone anywhere on its own, but together with the group's screenshots, it was enough to open a real case. I still have the generator. I keep it in the garage, And some nights when the motion light out front clicks on for no reason, I don't go check what tripped it. I just wait for it to click back off, and I don't move until it does.